think we are live. So, hello, everyone. We're live today, and today's discussion is on how to be a software tester. And here with me in the studio is my good old friend Francis Egbuchu.
Hi, Uche.
Yeah, and
Good to be
Francis,
here.
thank you for joining us in the session today.
Not a problem.
Yeah. Um, and please do well to share this, invite your friends. We've got a lot to learn today. And we're talking about how to become a software tester. I don't know how popular. I know some other tech roles are popular, but I don't know how popular or how widely known software testing is. So if you want to learn about software testing, if you have friends who are interested in learning how to become software testers, please do invite them and share the link. Get all your friends. Today's edition or today's session promises to be very explosive, and then there's lots of things to learn from. So we will just go ahead and start. Yeah, I can see we're online, and then people are joining. Anyways, we would go ahead and start, and we'll go ahead and start. And hope the good thing is that this video will be available for other people to join as well, to watch even after the session. So I will start again. So great. So my name is Uchechi Nwigwe. I am a product manager. I'm also a tech evangelist or tech evangelist, if you call that. Basically, we are encouraging people to switch to tech. I was inspired by some people who were complaining about their jobs, current jobs, in the traditional setting, and they didn't know that they could actually switch to tech to improve their lives. I've had different posts where I talked about, the benefits of joining or switching to tech. The future is tech, and tech, there are jobs in tech, and more jobs are being created in tech. And within tech, there's good work-life balance, good remuneration, and there's just a whole lot of things happening in tech. With tech, you can work globally, unlike some other traditional roles. With tech, you can be in your local country and work outside the country. You can work remotely and enjoy lots of benefit. So today, we'll be talking about software testing, and here with us is my very good friend Francis Ebuchi, who is a software tester as well. So Francis, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, Uche. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be here. Basically, I'm Francis Ezinna, software tester, maybe for the last 9 years now. And it's kind of fun, really. Let me just summarize it at that.
Okay. So I want to give you the floor. What is software testing, please?
Okay, so software testing is basically ensuring the product or the process works as is. So what it does is mostly bugs. You minimize the risk of bugs. Um, in the testing space, you can call it defects. And also, it helps reduces cost. So it's just to ensure that the quality of the software, whatever product or process it is actually top notch. That's basically what it is.
So what you just said is a bit high level.
Uh,
I'm just
okay.
wondering if you can break it down to the layman on the street. When you say
Okay.
software
So
testing, You
All
know,
right. So when you
some
say
of the
software
apps,
testing,
some of the apps we use, like Facebook, like we're on Facebook now, and it was built by someone. What is the role of the software tester in apps like this? Your Facebook, your
okay,
Gmail, your banking
okay,
app, and all that.
yeah, okay. Let me lay it bare. So yes, like you said, we're on Facebook now. It's just so you launch the URL facebook.com,
Mm,
www.facebook.com, it pops up. And of course, you want to sign up.
okay.
That's the next step. Of course, there are steps to sign up, maybe first your first name, middle name, surname, date of birth,
Mm,
email, and of course you enter your password. So that's still software testing. So for a software tester, those things I'll check. You
okay.
understand? Then when I'm into the app, I sign up successfully, I get a message, maybe my email to say I've signed up successfully. I come back to login. Now,
Mm,
laid bare, I basically will not have anybody to access my Facebook page unless maybe I open it myself. But these
mm,
days you have hackers now, you have
yeah.
everything
Yeah.
and all that. So basically, if I want to test Facebook now, when I do the sign up, I put let me go to the password I choose. So there's the password strength, weak, strong, you know,
Yeah.
and you can tell me weak, you can tell me strong. I ensure to check all those details. That okay, the password strength is top notch. I want to log in. I try to use Uche, my friend's password for email, for example, to log
Yeah.
in and his
Yeah.
details if I have it,
Yeah.
but I might use the wrong password and I'm not supposed to go into Facebook. I'm just
Mm,
supposed to be told the password is incorrect
yeah.
or your email is incorrect. So
Mm,
the system automatically should pick that this
mm,
is the email and the password I used to register for this, unless I go to do a password change,
yeah.
basically. So for the layman, it's just you play around the application, sign up, all those steps. Most of us use apps here. So just sign
Yeah.
up, play around it, put things that are wrong, do your negative test. That's the strength of a software tester, actually.
Yeah.
Your negative.
Mm,
So if I'm able to put my password and my email, and
yeah.
Uche comes to use my email and uses another password and it goes and
Mm.
is able to enter into my page, then there's something wrong with the application. It's a big bug.
Okay, thanks. Let me, from my experience, as a product manager, let me also have a go. So now, software testing, every product we use, was developed, right? And in
Yes.
developing a product, it goes from the ideation side, the product planning side, the product development side. So the product development are usually handled by software developers. So when they build
Yeah.
based on what, say, the business analysts and the product managers have given, the requirements they've given them, you know,
Yes.
somebody needs to ensure that everything works the way it ought to work. And that's where
Exactly.
the software testers come in. And great
And
software
to add,
testers go beyond
go on.
the basic requirements. They have
Ex-
things they look out for. They do a thorough check on that platform to make sure that it works.
Exactly.
And software testers are almost also like in the um, engineering world. Before a car is put out on the road, there's a lot of testing that happens. They actually smash it to see the strength, check everything, and do real world testing to make sure that it's durable and it's functioning. So that's what
Exactly.
and I've seen many, it's like it's a normal thing that when software testers test platforms that the engineers have felt they've done a good job, they usually find something that maybe wasn't done properly, and those things are resolved, and that's what makes a product a very great product, right? So that's their
Mm,
role. If the software testers are there, you might end up having your customers or the users be the one to experience the problem first, but the software testers are there to you know, test this thing, try out all use cases, and make sure that the product is quality and bug free. Yeah, did I try?
I think you're a software tester yourself. Excellent.
Yeah,
And just to add, so we have um, a software development life cycle.
software
So
development
really
lifecycle.
in our
Yes,
space,
yes. Okay, go ahead.
yes.
That's
So the
SDLC. Yeah,
SDLC. So
yeah.
yeah, so where which is what Uche just analyzed. So it goes
Okay.
from the writing of the documents to the developer who develops to his own testing, which is code testing. Then before it comes to the software tester to ensure that everything is fine. So all this has to happen before even the application is built. All these hands, the person who writes the document, the developer, the
Hmm.
tester, all have to come as one. And when that vision is built, everybody does a very huge contribution as to, okay, this is the idea, okay, we'll sum it up. And it helps both the developer and the tester to bring out quality in whatever application or product it is.
Oh, that's great. So the next question is this: how can someone know that software testing is for them? What are the qualities, natural quality? Because we advise people who are going into tech, who want to switch into tech, don't just say this role is lucrative, I want to go into it. Look at yourself. Look for the role that will allow you to put your best foot forward, to play to your strength. So who are the kind of people that will naturally do well in software testing?
Well, for me, I would say if you are somebody who has a knack for quality, getting into software testing shouldn't be a problem for you. Another thing I say is quality is one thing. You now have to have interest in software testing. You don't need much. It's all guided for you. It's just for you to know what to do and how to go about it. So for me, I don't think the layman outside needs one school or something. Just have a knack for it. Quality, okay. This is my Facebook application. Let me play around it. Like I always do, I play around my own. I play around every application that comes to me. Not because I'm working on it, but I just want to see something wrong. If I do this, what will happen? If I do this, what will happen? So you just have to have a knack for quality. If you're that kind of person, trust me, you are software testing inclined.
Yeah, I met a lady who said that she just naturally has this knack for quality. So when she comes on a platform or uses a product, she's makes comments. She even wants to give feedback to the manufacturers or the producers on how they can make it
Exactly. I do
better
that
and all
too.
that. So I
Yeah.
told her that, man, software testing is actually one one of the areas you could excel in, because that's basically what you do. And so
Yes.
if you have that child or that person who always checking stuff, looks at things, this thing should be here. No, this thing is not done here. This is not done properly,
Exactly.
and all that. Then software testing could be for you. Then the next thing is how can someone who is interested in software testing with no experience get into software testing?
Okay, so
There
I always encourage. Okay, sorry, go on.
Yeah. Okay. Let me finish. The people think that software testing requires coding. Some
Hmm.
people, wonder if you can start software testing um, if you don't read a particular course in the university. Can someone break into software testing, without reading software testing in university? What course should someone read if they want to become software testers?
I can assure you that there's no course to read. Though you get into the university, you do a bit of you do computer science, it helps. You have first-hand background knowledge of how the system works, back end, front end. But on the other hand, for someone who probably now doesn't have an opportunity to go into the university, You can always learn software testing. Like I said, if you have a knack for quality, first of all, you have stuff to read on the internet, know what it does. You have trainings on the internet, you have online videos on the internet, and aside that, you have exams to write. You can always get into that space. And yes, like people would always say, it's quite difficult to get a job if you're not really experienced in software testing. No, I actually learned on the job. I was doing something else for my former company before, but they were doing software testing, but I was in another thing. But I had to watch, and I said, okay. So I had to go down again and learn. So I don't think it's limited to you have to read something.
Now that you mentioned it, can you even, can you share your background? Did you read
Oh,
computer science or engineering in school? What was your background?
not
What was your
at
first degree?
not at all. First off, I was never in science class. I was an art student. I read it
Ah,
history and
imagine.
international
Wow, this is
relations.
this is interesting. This is
Yeah,
interesting. You were
I
an
read
art student and you are in
yes,
tech now. Wow, 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 wow.
yes.
This is
I,
interesting.
I always had
Yeah.
a knack for international relations, which was what I read in the university. But lo and
Okay.
behold, the first job I got
Mm.
was in an IT firm, Microsoft inclined firm. I was a salesperson. What I was selling were things I don't know: hardware, software licenses. On the job, I learned it. That's one skill I have.
Okay.
Moved from that company, got into another IT company that does development, software testing. I was the business analyst. And I watched a whole lot of softwares being developed there and people running around to ensure quality. And I said, okay, you know what? I think I like this. You know, let me see if I can try. And lo and behold, I had to move departments. And I went down the cadre again to start. Me that was heading a BA team. I had to go down to start. I said, let me know. And this is how many years now. It's paid off.
Yeah,
Really, it's paid
that's
off. So I didn't have a tech background, we don't get into. So on the job, I was now learning things about the computer. Aside the computer, we know literally when you are not
okay.
savvy about computers. So I started knowing what it entails when they say backend. I already know what they are speaking of. When they say jobs, I already know. When they say APIs, I know what they are speaking of. When they say front end, I already know what you are talking about. So it was on the job. I didn't need to go to a I didn't need to read a course for it. Really.
Okay. Okay. So now relating it, someone who is switching from a non-tech background and is interested, what is the first thing you advise them to do? The very first thing you advise them to do? Uh,
First, okay, sorry. First of all,
go,
I would
go
ask
ahead.
you,
Go ahead. Yeah.
do you
First,
have interest?
yeah.
It
The
matters.
the
And you
answer is
say
yes.
yes, and you say yes. And I say, do you have a knack for quality?
Yes.
And you tell me yes. Well, we can ride. You can learn on the job. I can show you what you need to do. I can use, there are many examples to use for you. And I have some of them I work with that didn't come with any previous and I've worked with in the past that didn't come with any previous background in just coming to the job fresh and all. They learned it, and today they are big men and women somewhere
Wow.
all over the world. I
That's
don't think
that's 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 interesting.
two things:
So,
interest and a knack for quality. Once you have that, I think you're settled.
okay, is there any certification required for software testing?
Yes, so we have a body that governs software testing, the International Standards Testing um, Qualifications Board,
Okay.
ISTQB. So yes, there are certifications you can do um, as a software tester. So there are three levels to it. So
Okay.
there's the foundation level. So you're a starter, there's a foundation level certification you do online. Um, you pay for it normally and you get it done. And after a while, there's the intermediate level as you progress
Okay.
in your years of testing. And after that, there's the advanced. But the advanced is mostly done in the UK. That's where the board is. So um, because you can branch off. So you want to be a software testing engineer, that's what you want to be. You want to be an automation software tester. You want to
Okay.
be a test manager
Okay.
tomorrow. It depends on, you know, what you want to do. So by the time you get into testing, a whole lot will fuse into your software testing. You now start having knowledge about what an application an API is. You start having um, to dabble into SQL. You
Okay.
know, you meet those scenarios. So nobody will need to tell you need to get better and enhance yourself. So before you know it, aside these ones, you're already adding um, other qualifications to get you better. Because there's the functional part of software testing, there's the automation part of software testing, there's the security part of
Okay.
software testing, and there's the API job part of software testing. So it's a whole lot of because of
Okay.
course every application, if the front end cannot work without the back end,
Definitely.
so they go,
Definitely.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, these three steps I gave is really the three standard world standard steps for every
Wow.
software tester, or every inspiring to be software tester.
Okay. Let me talk to the audience. Thank you. If you're just joining us, my name is Uche Chinwigwe, and this is Francis Ebuchu, who is a software tester. I'm a product manager, and we are discussing how to become a software tester. Francis is an experienced software tester who's worked in different organizations, worked on platforms in different industries, and has trained other software testers as well. So if you're just joining us, feel free share the link and invite other people who benefit from this. So back to what we were saying, something stood out for me. You said that you don't have to know how to code to become a software tester,
No,
but
I didn't know how to.
yeah, but as you progress to help you on your job, you could start
Yes,
learning, things like SQL, and even start learning how to code, basic coding. That would help
yes,
and make your job a lot easier. Is that
yes,
correct?
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Okay.
literally, you don't need to call on the developer almost every other time to
To
help you
everything.
on some basic things you can on your own
To
uh, do. Yes,
mm,
yes,
to make your work easier, a lot easier.
easier. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. So, can you tell us what your typical day, a typical day at work for a software tester? What's it? What do you do in a typical day?
So this is how it flows. So for every day, processes are being built or processes are being modified in the workspace. So
Okay.
um, it always has to come through the testing phase before go live. So a typical day for me is a process is assigned for me to test. I go through the document. I look at every artifact that was sent for the test, if they are complete. If I need clarifications, I ask the product owner or the product manager. Then I begin my test. So two
Okay.
things. I could go through a seamless test, raise my concerns and send. On the other hand, I could meet a brick wall. So, okay, so in testing, they call it showstopper.
Okay.
I want to log into an application. So I have to sign up. So I sign up with all my details, and the application is giving me an error. I can't test the application without signing up and logging in. So I send it back to the developer to say, please see error or issue experience. And that could stall the testing till whenever the developer gets back to me. But in a case where I have a seamless test, I can run the application based on what was on the requirement document and based on my own experience, negative testing, like I explained earlier. So I could play around a field that was not supposed to accept digits, if it's accepting digits, it's an error. Meanwhile, the document says a name field should just have alphabet. But literally, me as a tester and experience, I'll tell you, a name field can still accept characters like digits. So I'm in an organization. My name is Francis Ebuchu, and there's another Francis Ebuchu that comes tomorrow. We can't be one and the same. So if you are going to onboard that person, you put Francis Ebuchu 2 or Francis Ebuchu 3. So if you put a Francis Ebuchu, it will pop up because it's not you. So as you test, those things fill in your head. You could even advise the program manager to say, "Oh, I know you said this, but in the case of this, how would you now deal with the customer?" And the person says, "Oh, that's true," and you've helped to even make the application better, which is your job anyway.
Yeah, I like
And
this
everybody
part you
is
brought out. I like this part you
yeah,
brought
so
out.
just layman. So that's just what it is. So as you test, nobody needs to tell you how you can profile better solutions and advice to get the quality of product that the product manager needs to go to market. Because if it goes to one joy I always have, my product I test goes to market and they tell me it's doing well. Wow. No rollback, no issues. Wow. It gives me that whole fulfillment. So when I walk with my head and I said, that one. Okay, let me give you one example. So let me take us back a bit. So I
Okay,
have my very good friend, old good friend here in the name of Uchechi Wigwe. There was a process back in the days, worked on the online banking. When I look back at that bank and it's going on, when I look at their mobile app, I use it too, you know,
yeah,
back in the days. And I'm happy that my prints are all over this
yeah.
thing. Yeah,
You
they might
see,
have modified over the years, but it gives me fulfillment and I can look at anybody and talk about it. And that's the pleasure I get. And if it's bringing money to the organization, wow, what else do you need to do?
yeah.
I think that's it, man.
I love what you just brought out. You know how you look at products you worked on, even in the past, and
Yes,
it's still doing
yeah,
well. Hasn't
still
been
doing
sunset.
well.
It's it gives you joy. There's that
Yes,
fulfillment that comes with it. This is
yes.
great. So, well, thank you. This session has been very insightful. I'm learning lots of things. And please, if you're just joining, please share this. Invite your friends, someone who would love to be a software tester. This might be helpful to them. I want to ask, in software testing, there's a term called RPA. What does that mean? And
Robotics
yeah,
process automation.
yeah, what's it all about?
Okay, so let me see what you want to know.
Okay.
So it's also known as software robotics.
Okay.
I always call it software
Yeah.
robotics. So it just rides on the automation of technologies, to help in um, reducing the human workers around a process,
Okay.
um, extracting data, filling forms, moving files. It just reduces human effort.
Effort.
That's
Okay.
basically what it is. Yes,
Okay.
and that's the way everybody is actually pointing to.
Okay. I also
Right.
want to ask this automation of software testing because in agile teams they talk about automating software testing and
Yes.
yeah. So what would automation of software testing eliminate the role of a software tester if they?
Um. Um. So there's something I always say. Whatever comes out, automation, um, robot, you just can still not do with the functional part of software testing.
Okay.
It will not readily eliminate your job. I think it will make your job better. So, a functional tester, you test front end applications. It will be nice to have if you become an automation tester.
Mm.
Get that process automated. So, you don't have to go all over the application again. Yeah, playing around it on the web. When you automate it, I want to add example. So I have an application that has two approval processes. And later
Okay.
I'll come and look at it and say, why do I have a maker checker? Why do I have four people before a transaction is completed? So those two other additions, I
Mm.
just do a plug and play because I've automated the process before, and it will run and it will run, pick those ones, it sits in there, and I'm as good as good. It makes my work easier. I don't
Easy.
need to start the functional. I've automated Facebook. I
Okay.
readily know how I go around Facebook, and Facebook comes with one new addition. Now it's just to plug in, and I'm giving an example though.
Yeah.
Plug it in. Okay, this is modification. Oh, Facebook, you've added um having videos, for example. Oh, plug it in, and the process runs. It just makes the job, you know, easier. While robotics process will try to limit the human work on
Okay.
the process, which is, I think we are seeing that everywhere in the world now.
Yeah.
Robots doing stuff.
Doing stuff. Yeah.
You have bots. You have a
Mm.
Sterling bank that has a Kiki. You have that a Kiki can tell you account balance, can
Yeah.
tell you your location, tell you location where you have ATMs,
Your
a
TMs.
whole lot of stuff. You have
Yeah.
Leo and UBA. You have people sit down in their offices now. When you call customer service, you now call them and say, please, where's the nearest ATM?
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
taken
Those are
that off
mundane
somebody.
stuff. Those are
Yeah, you've
mundane
taken it
stuff.
off
Yeah.
somebody. So just chat with Kiki on your phone. Hi Kiki. Kiki says hello. What can I do for you today? And you say, please. Um, she gives you options. You choose nearest ATM. And she's looking at where you are and she's giving you the location. You just go there, use the ATM, and you move. Or in 5 minutes, less than you are done. But when you call the customer care, you know how it is now, the human thing. You call because you want to get ATM. Oh, come on. It's just to reduce human work. So I think the world is going places these days. But I always encourage a functional tester, don't sit down on functional testing, get to be an automation tester, play around testing. It will just make your life easier and it's sweet to have, please. It's a skill that can never die. About the money, it will give you the money. Trust me.
Yes. I wanted to ask one question before we
Okay.
now find out if the audience have any questions for you. Um,
Okay.
uh, do you need to learn any particular software to become a software tester?
Yes, please. So aside the functional for automation, there are tools you don't just automate, there are tools you need to know and you need to understand what automation testing is. And
Okay.
there are tools you need to be good at. So there's Catalan, which is my favorite.
Could
You
you
know,
spell
I
that? I didn't get
Catalan. So it's a Katalon.
Katalon. Catalan.
Lon, Catalan, yes.
Okay. Okay.
So it's an automation tool you can use. Hmm? It doesn't require coding, no. It's something you can, yes, exactly, that's it. It's something you can do and use in your convenience. There's also Selenium, Selenium.
Okay.
But Selenium, you need to understand a bit of coding. So if you don't have interest in coding, no, me, I'll tell you,
Is that
yes,
Selenium?
that's it. Yes, that's Selenium, yes. If you don't have interest in coding, you don't want to stress your head that you want to learn coding,
Okay.
just stay with Catalan. But if you feel, especially for those who did computer science and who wouldn't have a problem with coding, Selenium is also okay for automation. You also have Cypress,
Okay.
SY Press.
Okay. That's right.
Sorry, CY Press. Sorry, Cypress. CY then PRESS.
Okay.
But I normally will not advise anybody who inspires to be I'm not writing it off, but it might limit you a bit. That's what I'm saying.
Mm.
So for mobile automation, Cypress does not conform for mobile. So
Okay.
let's say you have a process to automate and it's web and mobile. Like the apps you have in the banks today, they have the web version, they have the
Yeah.
mobile version. Yes,
Mm.
you can use Cypress for the web, but it limits you to use it and automate the mobile part. So I would, you can, it's a good to have, but why not use the Decathlon that can do all? So those are basic tools as an automation tester you need to learn. For RPA, you need to learn RPA. That one is not something you can run away from. You need to learn it. You know,
Okay.
I am currently learning it. I will tell you sincerely,
Okay.
because soon enough, the goal of every organization is to have bots do almost everything. Maybe in the next years, you might not be seeing people in the working space. You already have hotels that don't have a human worker. You go to Japan, they are there. You have robots. They welcome you from the door. They check you in. You pay your money. You go in. You order for something. Robot will bring you to your door.
Yeah.
Knock and serve you. Yes. Like the World Cup we want to have this year, I don't know if most of us have followed up on the Qatar stadium they are building. That stadium is full of tech.
Wow.
Nobody is going to come and serve you. Don't get it twisted. The only thing you will see is security in the form of armed police, soldiers, and all. Every other thing is robots that will attend to you. Just speak to it. You want some water, boom, water comes out from somewhere. You want this, maybe a robot will just push a tray and come to you. You won't see any human being. The only human beings you see there is just you and the people who lodged. That's where the world is going to. So it has limited the human effort now. You have robots doing everything.
Yeah.
You understand? So I mean, before, back in the days when my dad, who was an astute banker, my late dad, when I used to go to the office with him, he was always full of files. What's
Yeah.
going on here? File everywhere. If they want to give you to open an account now, it's file, you fill, you go back, you come back. So
Yeah.
maybe they give you one docket like that when you want to.
Yeah.
But now you
With your
sit
mobile
in the
app,
convenience of,
you open an account.
yes, the mobile app, you open your account, download, open your account, fill in all the details, they get back to you, open your account, you start transacting. You don't need to be in a banking hall.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So that's where the world is going. So all these things are not, you can have software testing written all over all of them. Trust me, even the ATMs you use.
Yeah.
Yes. Even the POS you use. Yes. You have software
Yeah.
testing. So it's something that has come to stay. Trust me.
Wow, this is great. Thank you so much, Francis. And if you're just joining us, we've been on software testing, how to become a software tester. And Francis has given us lots of good tips, lots of good advice on how someone who is coming from a non-tech background can start and, build a career in software testing. And that's about it from my side. I just look to see if audience online have any question. So if you have any questions, feel free to type it in the comment section and we could answer that. Even if we don't do it now, we can always answer that. And please share this video. Share this video. It's not easy to get Francis to come out, leave his very busy schedule to, do this, share his experience. Something jumped at me. Francis is an
Yes.
art student. So he
Mhm.
read, did you say history, right? History?
History and international relations.
International
Yes.
relations. So can you see nothing tech in his background? So which means if you've been limited by thinking that because of your art background, you don't know anything IT or tech, you are the one limiting yourself. You can actually start a career in tech. So go ahead. What are you waiting for? Make that switch to tech today. and software testing is an area you could consider. Thank you. I'll just take a look at the Facebook uh, comments and see if we've got any questions. Have we got any questions from anyone? And if we don't have, we will wrap up and call it a day. But feel free, share this, invite your friends, let them come and watch it. And you never know, you may be blessing somebody's life through
Yeah.
this knowledge. So thank you once again, Francis, for making our time at even very short notice to come and do
Yeah.
this for us. God bless you, and
Yeah.
you know,
You're
it's
welcome, Uchi. Thank
great.
you very much for this
And thank
opportunity.
you. If you think you've learned anything from this session, please drop a comment. Let's hear your feedback. Let's see if we should stop this or if we should continue to do it and get more, great people to come and share their own, journeys. Great. Thank you. And have a great day. We'll call it a day at this time. Yeah. So bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.